That's why Fela came with zombie or zombie.
But don't you think that things are changing? Because when we were opening, Neota said that within the first 3 months, if Nigerians don't begin to see signs of the change, then this government can kiss re-election goodbye.
It's not Neota that said it. One of our guests.
I'm sorry.
We find it difficult to ask questions from our leaders. Like he said, once we've appointed them, they are semi-gods, they are kings, you cannot have access to. And what we need to flow from top to bottom is leadership by example. I'll give you an example. There was a time Babatunde Raji Fashola had to stay on the BRT lane and impounded a colonel driving on that route. During this fuel scarcity, I got to a petrol station along Itire Road. I had to park my car on the other side, like every Nigerian, carry jerry can. When I got there, the guy said, for 50 liters of fuel, the 2 jerry cans I had to pay him 12,000 from the nozzle pump. And I said to these people, why should I pay 12,000 now? But before I could say Jack Robinson, every other person, Nigerians suffering like me, okay, give them this thing, make we go. Give them, make we go. That is Nigeria.
Let's move on.
Let's move on. That is Nigeria. So if we have leadership, I don't expect a change within a trickle of an hour. Like the man who said the attitude is not, to me, I always say your attitude determines your longitude. Wherever you're going in life, it's your attitude. But a lot, the weight of the Nigerian social contract is so heavy, so big and enormous that, hey, it will take God's grace.
If I would take Tokumbo raised a very sore point, which I see as a Nigerian thing, which is very disheartening. It is our leaders who flaunt the law openly to our faces. A colonel driving in the BRT lane, a police car not chasing any robber or anything, driving against traffic. You are carrying the logo of the police force and you are the one breaking the law. Suppose we all follow you. Imagine the confusion that you would cause. Because you are the leader, you think you are above the law. I want you to comment about that. All that has to change, hasn't it?
Exactly. We're all saying the same thing now, the mental orientation. Look at the bulk of the people in government, and there is a pledge. You walk into an office. It's so beautiful. I walked into an office in Abuja, and the background was the pledge. I pledged to Nigeria, my country. And I was looking at the people, and I was reading the pledge, and I saw to be disloyal, dishonest, and unfaithful. You know, and when they now started asking for something, I said,
is that what you saw on the pledge, or that's what you saw in the
That's what I was reading when I was reading the pledge. You know, to defraud Nigeria with all my strength. You know, and I was looking at it, and I was like, God, something must be wrong with me, because it hurts me. I find myself being emotional. I was brought up to love whatever is yours, so I have to love Nigeria. So I'm emotional about Nigeria. So when I see things like this, I give up, because I want whatever. I give you the money you want, and you know, get the hell out of that place. But as I'm walking out, I'm feeling the pain. I feel the pain, and I said, what Nigeria shall we leave for our children? And if you notice, it seems like, just like I was discussing with Ata and my friend here, you know, just like they used to make strong cars those days, now they're making it weaker, so that you can change. And it seems to me also that we're having weaker children. You know, so it's unfortunate, because they can't stand what is going on the streets.
I would want to firmly say, no, we are not having wicked children.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
We're transiting from children that are all broad to children that are a bit of broad and more brain.
More brain.
And more brain.
Okay.
Which means, you said, would change come? I see change. Because I see that a lot of things, even if not acted upon, are firmly being documented. Because in tweeting, in discussing things, in quoting things, you are bringing things into memorial. part of the challenges is that at times you don't even remember what the person said he was going to do.
Oh, we will remember this.
You understand me? And that's the benchmark of the change.
Remember this.
We had 5,000.
Can we really have a change without a review of the past system? Beautiful. And what I mean by that is, when the government wants or it's clamoring for a change, for example, I want to know those who have been in charge of my power, those who sold the NEPA organizations into, what has been happening. Part one. I want to know those who have been responsible for importation of fuel, where my money has gone to. I want to know the governors who ruled in the last 4 years, the total amount you have collected from the federal coffers, how you expended it, until we begin to ask and probe into such actions. We are just sleep talking.
You know, you said earlier that we don't ask questions.
Yes, but Buhari being a change agent,
even
he should
the
start with
few
that.
who have the courage to ask are not answered.
Correct.
So what should we do as a people? It is our right to know.
We have a new president, a new breed. I disagree with him saying, I agree with him saying he's not going to be vindictive. Not being vindictive doesn't mean that, hey, look, in these 4 years, you from Sokoto, you have collected 30,000 naira.
How did you
Tell
spend
the public how you expended this 30,000 naira. Let's know. At a particular time, there was one of the governors, every year he publishes his income and expenditure. I think he did that for only 3 years, and thereafter joined the bandwagon. We have money in this country. This country is blessed. I met a Lebanese friend who says, Tokumbo, you know your problem? Look at, if I drive from Abuja to the northern part, I see virgin land. You people, you have good country, blessed ground. You put potato, you plant, you put this, but bad leadership. The same man from Togo, another man from Togo, I said, you Togo people, you've come to spoil our country. You and Ghanaians, and you have to go back. I said, no, not that we spoil our Moga. Now your people themselves, bad people, did too much for your country.
I would disagree. I would disagree where we say Nigerians don't ask questions. Nigerians for the last 4 years were asking the old administration questions on social media. Did they get answers? They did, and that answer is Buhari. It's true. Yes. Nigerians were asking questions. What are you doing with this? Where is this going? You promised you were going to do that. And what happened was that on the day of election, because those questions were not answered satisfactorily, Nigerians then wanted a change. We do ask questions in this country. And I think it was a former state governor, I think it was Akpabio, who said that he's happy that Buhari is coming in at this time, that he's an old man and he doesn't want money. What he wants now is a legacy.
He has never wanted money. So whether young or old is not in. He was a young man when he was head of state the first time.
He said now what he wants now is a legacy. The national anthem says, "Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's call obey." I think it's time for us to arise as patriots for this land, for the fatherland. I think it is time for us to believe in Nigeria. All of us here and Nigerians that are listening to us, it's time for us to ask fundamental questions with regards to where Nigeria is going and the Nigerian dream. I think it's time.
I was going to, before you started making, I was going to say this. In the last phrase, or the last part of his speech, he quoted somebody, Julius Caesar. And then the last line he used, and I mentioned it in our opening chat, he said, we have an opportunity. Let us take it. In closing, where do we fit as Nigerians? Yes, we have a leader, new leadership, we have a new government. As Nigerians, where do we fit into that statement? We have an opportunity. let